we found an American journalist that in 2001 interviewed Permyakov in Siberia and wrote an article on the South China Morning Post. The name of the journalist is Russell Working, that was kind enough to join the project and provide insightful details about his interview with Permyakov in 2001. More importantly, during that interview, Permyakov showed to the journalist the artifacts, the fan, the notebook, and especially the watch. Luckily, I would say, the journalist took a photo where today we are able to show to everyone that exactly the objects were in Permyakov's house and they are exactly in the same condition as you can see them today. We wanted to have another aspect, another provenance or another authentication of this project. So we contacted the Imperial Museum of the Manchurian regime in Changchun, Far East of China. That is the only museum dedicated entirely to Puyi. We were able to reach out to the last living scholar that dedicated 42 years of his life in Puyi's life. And the gentleman is the last person that interviewed Puyi family and Puyi entourage during the Soviet Union prison camp. He also confirmed that in 2009, a group of scholars from the museum went to see Permyakov's house, where also they testify that they saw the objects that are now here displayed in the exact same condition. So we have added another evidence of the provenance and the originality of the artifacts. One thing that all collectors would ask about the watch is why the dial is in this condition. And it was our first question when we received it. Because as you can see, the lower part of the dial has been modified. We knew that it was made by someone, but we didn't know who and especially why. Thanks to the researchers, we were able to introduce another key figure of the project, that is Puyi's first servant, Mr. Li, or nicknamed Big Li. Big Li was the first servant of the emperor and lived closely to him. He was not only a servant, he was also a skilled handyman that he was able to repair, for example, Puyi's glasses or cameras. And we discovered that, of course, over 5 years of prison camp, Puyi had a lot of time, sometimes more. And one day, he decided to inspect, to get closer to the watch. And he asked his servant to open it, to see the beautiful movement. And when also they discovered that the watch was made out of platinum. Puyi asked the servant to verify what material was made the dial of. So they decided to remove the surface of the dial to identify what was the material. And when they discovered that it was brass and not platinum, Puyi asked the servant to stop. That's why today the dial is in such condition that adds a fascinating aspect in the whole story. Thanks again from the Imperial Museum, we were able to find memoirs of Puyi's family that spent the years with him during the prison camp. Especially more importantly is the memoir of Puyi's nephew, Yuyan, that in his book exactly writes the moment where the emperor gifted the watch to Permyakov in 1950. So again, we also have a written evidence of the steps that the watch did over his life and how the emperor passed it to Permyakov in Russia.